Welcome back, everyone. New Mutator here, and it's game number 4, Myth Kickballers Week 6. It is Kruniak versus Giant Killer General. We're looking at Giant Killer General's team. He's got this force here on this map, which is Hvergelmir, I believe is how you pronounce it. It is the light variant, so we see that we do have these Warriors of Thel. He is going to be in the southwest. It is Capture the Flag, so both teams, and these three games, games 3, 4, and 5, were interesting because each of these three games had Capture the Flag as their game type. So you know, that kind of goes with what I said in the previous game, which was, you know, not a whole lot of imagination in terms of the picks, which I was a little bit surprised at. But yeah, so we have these two teams here, and very interesting. This is actually an example of a widely divergent trade, this choice here for both of these two captains. As we can see here, it looks like Kruniak going for kind of a more standard trade. I would say this is more standard just because it seems more balanced between melee, ranged, and artillery. You know, we have goals for pus, we have maximum pus, a couple of journeymen, we have to heal all the whites, obviously. But that's balanced by these archers. You know, 4 is a pretty good number of dwarves, and then, you know, we have all this melee here, which isn't the maximum, but it is the maximum warriors and warriors of Thel, but significantly fewer thrall than maximum. And I'm guessing those are going to be posted up on defense. Now, looking at Giant Killer General's trade, he has 7 dwarves. Oh gosh, that's pretty funny. Seven dwarves here. This one's sleepy, and so forth. But no archers at all to balance this out. So this is going to be very interesting. He does have goals for pus though, so he's going to go maximum amount of pus for these whites. He's going to heal a couple of journeymen to do that. And then he's also maxed out Warriors of Thel, and Thralls. So Thralls being maxed out is very interesting. And I think that this is a pretty good strategy for this map, because of the fact that this map, this particular game, you know, if this game were like 17 minutes or something like that, if it were capped at kind of a higher amount of time than it was, I think this trade could have performed pretty okay. But seeing as how this, I believe it's only 12 minutes or something, this is actually not a bad choice in terms of a trade. Well, Giant Killer General would say it's the obvious choice. It's the perfect choice for this, you know, for this particular context. Yeah, so 12 minutes in this game. Now, the reason why having less time would make this trade more viable is that is because sorry about that. It's because these archers are going to have they're not going to have as much time to make themselves worth it in terms of the unit trading points. They pretty much need to be doing consistent damage to make themselves worth it. And if they're not able to do that, then they're not going to be able to really hurt the strength of this army very much. So I'm guessing that these pus for Giant Killer General are basically going to focus down the dwarves of Kruniak and possibly some archers, but maybe save some for melee as well. And the reason why that would be a good choice is that they can just run in and decimate everything. You know, the archers aren't going to be able to focus down all the melee. It's just too much melee. They're not going to be able to overwhelm that given the amount of time on the map. So even if Giant Killer General isn't able to take this flag, the chances of a stalemate are pretty high rather than a direct loss, unless all his pus is wasted and all of his players, you know, just end up losing the dwarves. They can easily like kite around with the dwarves and, you know, try not to get killed by the archers, and, you know, waste time, use up time that way. So this force, now all of a sudden when I'm looking at it, I realize that they have to basically it's on them to move across the map and take this flag. It's on them to take the initiative and move across the map. If they don't do that, then they're, you know, setting themselves up for a draw at the most. So it looks like a Giant Killer General sent this force out to the south to kind of go around, up and around. And this is a Kremisi, Professional Killer, and Thor. And basically this is going to be just, you know, pretty large, a pretty significant force in terms of their total unit strength. He is sending this small force. This is going to be him, Giant Killer General. This is going to be what he has. He's going to try to slip around into the north and maybe move across that way. So what he's hoping to do is kind of like a pinch, while this force here is more or less stalled in the middle by this force here. So these Thrall are kind of like a stalling gambit. And what you do here with these Thrall is you try to make it so this force isn't able to move past you. It's kind of like a Thrall wall. Actually, that dwarf does survive, so HW not able to take it out with that pus, ends up losing it. And it looks like Rower on archers also in the middle here. So HW with Rower with the archers, backed up by Sasper and some other players. I think I'm over here as well. Yeah, I got both journeymen, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, so basically you have to use up your pus on these dwarves, and to make it really worth it. And so we have Shadow and Mercadon, and they're going to be trying to blunt this advance by Kremisi and Professional Killer, backed up by Thor. And they're going to have a tough time because they're just outnumbered. You know, they don't have as much stuff here. Even though they have archers, the archers might not really do all that much. And you have to remember, archers are 3 unit trading points apiece. So that's, you know, what is that? 3, 6. That is 18 unit trading points. That could be 18 Thrall right there. So a couple of dwarves actually going down here. But is this force going to... Oh! Yeah, and actually that... I do remember Sam the Butcher with a lucky pus on my dwarf. I don't know why I wasn't able to hit him in time to try to save him. Oh, see, I wasn't able to save him from Funky, so Funky sniped that dwarf. And that was kind of unfortunate because all of our dwarves were sniped in this mid-force. Had we held on to that one dwarf, that could have helped us out a lot in trying to move in on this position here. Uh-oh. That was an unfortunate pus dud, it looked like, by Kruniak. He is going to throw one down. He actually does take out that dwarf, so that worked out for Kruniak in the end, although he would have loved to hold on to one of those pus.
Flag contested.
And we're going to try to move in on that position. Looks like Professional Killer is going to move around and try to take the flag, while Mercadon tries to defend it. I think Shadow's going to lose all his archers here because basically they're just going to be abandoned while Mercadon tries to retake the flag. And HW is going to move back home as well, although I think it's kind of a lost cause, as he's just going to get overrun. Now we're trying to move in on this position, but there's just so much Thrall here, and we don't have any dwarves. We do have a couple of pus. I think I have a pus. And Rower has a pus. So, you know, if we're able to throw down a couple of nice pus, this could work out for us. But I think our players, like Dak, is just running in there and getting himself killed. They're not playing very conservatively at this point in time, which we need our forces to be conservative and marshaled for this attack. Otherwise, it's not going to work at all. Mercadon is going to get actually unfortunate duds on that pus. So some more pus duds, which brings me to, you know, it's very interesting because some players are trying out a tag set that modifies it so that pus doesn't dud anymore. So we'll see what happens with that. There's also other changes involved as well. So we'll see if that pans out as well. And you know, it looks like Rower's here, but he's got basically zero window of opportunity to have these archers be worth it.
Team eliminated.
You know, and I don't know if we might have been able to take this flag, but I just don't know. Like, it's possible. It's possible. You know, but there's just so much thought. We would have had to have kept it contested the whole time, and we lost a lot of melee dancing around. We do have, a few scattered melee, but for some reason, nobody was on the flag at that point in time, which was funny. I thought that was pretty hilarious. But as you can see, these Thrall here were prevented from moving in by Giant Killer Generals. Actually, a pretty smart stream of Thrall, just trying to bait them to sit up and try to focus those down instead of moving in on the flag, which kind of worked out. I know I had a Puskull, but he threw a dud, and I was trying to maneuver him to throw another Pus and maybe freeze some of this Thrall to make them easier to take out, but they just weren't clumped up all that well, and we didn't have a whole lot of melee. Like, we had looks like 2 or 3 Warriors of Thel here. It just, I don't know. It's contestable. Like, perhaps we could have done something here. As yeah, it looks like somebody's Pus was used already. But you have to remember, like, Sam the Butcher has a couple Warriors of Thel, and Funky has more than a few warriors scattered around, in addition to these home Thralls. So I think had that dwarf survived, we would have won. So I don't know. I guess it's my fault. Any way you slice it, I lost this game. All right, so that's going to be it for game number 4. Kind of an interesting end here to this game. As it was kind of close for much of the game. Although I think for it to be really close, we probably would have had a lot more kills and damage than we ended up getting in this game. HW actually managed to do pretty okay for our team, and Sasper got a lot of kills despite not getting a lot of damage. And it looks like Kirk kind of doing pretty okay, but he had a lot of losses. I'm sure a lot of that Thrall mid was his. But he actually did pretty well, and Professional Killer posting pretty high ratios also, as well as Kermisi, actually 11 kills, 2 losses. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this game, and Dag actually 0 kills. So I don't know. I have no idea. That's going to be it for game number 4, guys. We'll see you in game number 5.
Game over.